All right, everybody, how y'all doing? And welcome back to Three and Out with the Dolphins. Your host Ron here, as I go ahead and talk about the highlights of the Miami Dolphins and the Indianapolis Colts. As the Dolphins fell short by 6 points, as they wind up losing road trip up on the road to the Colts, as they lost to the Colts 16-10. Now everybody blaming Huntley. Huntley ain't throwing the ball to Tyreek Hill. Huntley ain't hitting Waddle. Huntley's not doing this. Huntley not doing that. Well, it's not Huntley's fault because see, we already know Waddle and Hill have speed, and the only one that has that good connection with them is Tua Tagovailoa, which will be coming back for the Arizona Cardinals game. He just cleared protocols, so he's coming back and he's practicing with the team right now so he can get their rhythm back with his receivers, which I would say probably miss him. But if our receivers were to work with a quarterback that don't throw deep passes and don't have the timing with you yet, y'all can at least read your routes short. If they playing off you, go ahead and point and do a nice, good, quick slant. Now, Huntley hits quick slants. That's what he did when he was with Baltimore Ravens, taking over for Lamar Jackson last year when he was injured and got them to the playoffs. So now, Tyler Huntley is the real deal for the Dolphins, but no chemistry with the offensive receivers. Now, he do have chemistry with Jonnu Smith, who he been throwing to. Jonnu Smith has 7 receptions for 96 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, Jonnu Smith know how to cut his routes, work with the quarterback. That's what tight ends for. That's why Huntley and Smith became that 1-2 target, because Jonnu Smith know how to find the seam in the defense, show his number and the ball right there in the window, and hit those numbers perfectly. So that's the main reason why Huntley is not syncing with Waddle in here yet, because Huntley don't have that power arm like a lot of these good quarterbacks that can throw that ball deep, like Patrick Mahomes, Tua Tagovailoa, and etc. They know how to rip the ball deep to a receiver that just can go ahead on and stretch it out. Now, this is one reason why the Colts had double arm help on the cornerback. Safeties came up and helped the corners on the Colts. Yes, the Colts free safeties help the corners out because they know that Huntley is not going to throw deep, and hoping that the linebacker take away the middle. But Huntley found an easy seam because Jonnu Smith was giving it to Huntley to connect and keep the chains moving. That's why the Tyler Huntley and Jonnu Smith combo worked. But overall, excuse me, viewers, what really hurted the team was penalties and turnovers. Raheem Mostert turned the ball over. Ingram turned the ball over. Penalty after penalty after penalty after penalty, which made it a sloppy game. And there was the only Dolphins could only do was just muscle 10 points. First quarter, they scored 7. Second quarter, they scored 3. And third and fourth, that was it. They went cold because that defense was revved up, and they say we could stop this team. Now, after Huntley went out with the game with the shoulder injury, here comes Tim Boyle. And everybody know Boyle ain't going to do diddly squat, but trying to find his tight ends in the middle. So, offensive line for the Dolphins is not that good because we're still facing some injuries on the offensive lineman of the Dolphins. And Tim Boyle is a tight end quarterback. He likes to hit his tight ends up the seam. That's it. He's not throwing the Hill. He's not throwing the Waddle. He's not throwing to any other speedy receivers on the team. Tim Boyle will miss check downs to the running backs, or he may just sit down here and underthrow the running back, which we saw that there in the third and fourth quarter. But overall, we just didn't have it in the tank. Tyler Huntley finished the game with 7 of 13 for 87 yards and a touchdown. Tim Boyle came in for 8 for 13 for 74 yards and no touchdown. Total passing was 15 of 26 for 149 yards and 1 touchdown. That is sad when you have that much talent on the team. But our fault, our speedy receivers, Waddle and Hill, because they wasn't not really getting the ball or I will not say really getting the ball. They was not really working with the quarterback to get the ball. See, when you work with your quarterback and understand your quarterback, then the system flow. The system was not really flowing for Huntley no boy, because he'll say, I can't be beat. I'm going deep. Waddle the same way. I cannot be beat. I'm going deep. But if you got a quarterback that likes hitting tight ends for 6 to 10 yards up the seam, then y'all boys doing fly routes 20 plus yards out. Only one can hit that does Tua, and Tua will be coming back for the Cardinals game this Sunday at the Hard Rock Stadium. So yes, Tua, welcome back, champ, and take good care of yourself. Try not to avoid getting concussions. Because if you receive another concussion, that might be the end of your career. And the NFL commissioner gonna say, you know what? Anybody that facing concussions back to back in their NFL career needs to retire. So that's that. On the rushing game, it wasn't pretty. It was pretty balanced. They had 40 carries for 188 yards. Not bad. Devon Achane had 15 carries for 77 yards. No touchdown. Raheem Mostert had 11 carries for 50 yards and had a fumble. But when Raheem Mostert was ripping big plays, 25 and 30 yards and 18 yards on the ground, they was called back due to penalties. Once again, we hurt ourselves in the foot. Jalen Wright got in the mix. He had 5 for 33 yards. Tyler Huntley had 5 carries for 20 yards. And Tyreek Hill had 1 carry for 5 yards. And Tim Boyles was just scrambling for daylight, like always. 1 carry for 4 yards. And Ali Ingle had 2 carries for -1, which was pitiful. The main top receiver on the team, as I've been saying, is Jonnu Smith, because he know how to work with quarterbacks that know how to work with tight ends. That's it. He'll find a soft spot in the defense, show his number, and that ball is hitting him right on the numbers. And that is it. So, Jonnu Smith finished the game with 7 receptions for 96 yards and a touchdown. Alec Ingle had 1 reception for 25 yards. Jalen Waddle had 1 reception for 11 yards. Malik Washington had 2 receptions for 9 yards, and that's another speedster, Washington. You know, Tyreek Hill had 1 reception for 8 yards. Devon Achane 2 for 8. Julian Hill 1 for 4. You know, that's just pitiful. And every last person I called out on the receiving core from Waddle down are all speedsters. They know how to run them routes, and they know how to go deep, 15 plus yards deep. So if you're not hitting them, then they're going to be frustrated. But they try to hold that frustration. But at the same time, it's the play caller or the offensive coordinator. It's not who you have. I don't give a damn if you have a whole pile of speedsters. You can stretch the field. You got 6 speedy wide receivers on the field. You ain't going no. You going empty backfield, no tight end. You got 6 receivers on the field, and they're all around the 4-2 going deep. And you got a backup quarterback like Tim Boyles or Huntley. He ain't gonna hit them because they too fast. And if you don't have the chemistry with the receivers, then this is to be a waste of time, a waste of effort. Even it'll be a waste of commenting on the game. You know, it's a waste. Why talk about it if you don't have a quarterback to help produce your numbers? So that's all I have to say. Tua's coming back, and let's see what's going to happen with the Cardinals. Team stats for the Colts and the Dolphins. As like I said, Tyler Huntley had 7 for 13 for 87 yards, 1 touchdown. Richardson did good. He had 10 of 24 for 129 yards, no touchdown because he's trying to gel with the team. But with his athleticism and his ability to escape the pocket when they collapse, he's getting there. I mean, right now Richardson will be a massive threat, especially to fantasy football players. Richardson the real deal. And Flacco just sitting in the cup waiting. He might be drafted out, but Flacco is the backup if anything happened to that rookie quarterback. Rushing on Dolphins, Devon Achane had 15 carries for 77 yards. Richardson was the leading rusher with 14 carries for 56 yards. Receiving, Yeah, like I said, Janoa Smith had 7 receptions for 96 yards, and one time he was the leading receiver on the team, with Pittman Jr. had 3 receptions for 63 yards. And the funny thing about it, in total yards, Miami Dolphins had 337 yards to Indianapolis Colts 284 yards. The thing with Kilton was the 2 turnovers that the Colts was able to capitalize on points, which gave them the edge of 6 to edge the Dolphins 16-10. And they had 1 turnover. First down was pretty neck and neck. Dolphins at 18 and Colts 16. Time of possession was all Dolphin way with 31 of 11. 31 minutes and 11 seconds to the Colts 28 minutes and 49 seconds. It don't really matter how you control the clock when you have penalties and turnovers that will kill you and it will make you frustrated. Also, the fault is the offensive coordinators of the Dolphins. Y'all should have came up with a better routine to keep drives alive, but y'all just focus on we got these are 2 dynamic receivers and we got a quarterback that can't get the ball to him. So that's the thing. So now we need to see Sunday at the Hard Rock as the Arizona Cardinals coming out backyard at 1 p.m. on Fox. Can we get out this losing streak and get back into winning some ball games and have a comfortable spot, maybe finishing at 11-4 or 12-4 and secure a bye week in the playoffs? That's all I have to say. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.